Welcome to Barbie's Bitch House.
Last time stuff happened and it was really gross, and this time stuff's gonna happen and it's gonna be really gross. This chapter is called Adios, Bill. And I guess we'll do a short recap. Bill basically had sex with Carmen Maria, which is his dad's like, girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it's just a whole soap opera mess. That guy looks like Mickey Mouse. Okay. They already do chant Blue Bill. I said Blue Bill a kiss as he scampered down her path back to the safety.
She Blue Bill.
Okay. Scampered like a rat down her path back to the safety of his van.
I'm imagining him on all fours, just crawling back to the van.
Skittering. He's been in some crazy situations, but being made to fuck some woman blindfolded. Oh, he was blindfolded. No shit.
He was blindfolded, yeah.
I'm stupid. I thought he knew.
No, he had a blindfold on the entire time, so he only heard her voice.
Oh, still. No excuses, Bill. Some woman blindfolded and locked up in some ancient stocks in a central London cellar was untrue. He should write a book, he thought. It was then that he felt the cold, hard object pushed into his throat. A husky voice from the back of the van said, "Drive." Wait, fuck, it's not Valerie.
They're gonna fucking kill Bill.
It's not Valerie. Oh, shit. Okay. Bill did just that. He wasn't going to ignore a gun muzzle. Guns killed people.
Guns kill people? Wow, Bill. I didn't know you fucking knew that.
Guns killed people. Even Bill Badger. What do you want? I finished my deliveries for the day. We don't carry cash. I can't help you. Shut up. The muffled voice shouted. Just drive back to your depot. Now. Bill's mind raced as he turned the big van in the direction of the Chelsea depot. They were going after the central safe, he thought, but it didn't make sense. All Harold's Emporium business was conducted online via credit cards and accounts paid off monthly by direct bank transfers, blah, 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 blah. Sure, there were a few pounds in the small retail store out the front of the depot, but it was peanuts. A few £1,000s on a Sunday at most. Beatrice. Bill's mind fell into turmoil. I almost accidentally said oil. Fell into turmoil. She was responsible for banking the cash from the retail store every Saturday evening. Beatrice was in danger. Bill pushed the remote fob, which allowed his van access into the depot if the main gates were ever shut. Being Saturday afternoon, that was the case. Bill drove through with the gun now pushed into his left shoulder, well out of sight of any prying eyes. Park up next to your flat, making sure the van hides the stairwell entrance, the muffled voice instructed. Bill complied. He knew it made perfect sense to use his flat as a temporary operational center. Its large windows had a panoramic view of the entire facility. Anyone with advanced military training would know this. Bill now knew he was dealing with a twisted terrorist plot. What he didn't know was what methodology they were going to use to kill the great and mighty of central London. Put this blindfold on and get out of the vehicle. For the second time in as many hours, Bill put blindfold over his eyes. Give me your keys and walk slowly to your flat entrance. The terrorist guided Bill in the general direction of his flat, pushing the muzzle even harder into his back. Don't shoot. I'll do as you ask, blurted a terrified Bill. Oh, yes, you will, replied a muffled voice. Bill stumbled to his flat entrance. His unwelcome guest unlocked the door and pushed the blindfolded Bill inside.
Imagine it's fucking Beatrice.
I feel like it's Delilah.
Show us his cock.
If it's Beatrice, I will lose. I feel like it's Delilah, though. It didn't... Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, say what you're
going to say. Well, I was going to say that, didn't she literally just... Is that Ken? Anyway. But didn't they literally just say that she left? But maybe that was a ploy.
I feel like
her
it's
to
a
do
ploy.
This shit.
Bill inside. It didn't take very long to find the bedroom where Bill was thrown onto his bed and his hands cuffed to the headboard. Ooh, this is about to turn Mitch Gerald's game real quick. Where do you keep your booze? The voice asked. Bill started his reply. In the mahogany cupboard. In the lounge. As his mind raced ahead, wondering what sort of torture alcohol couldn't do. I'm thinking about what we did last episode where it goes in the pee hole. She's going to put alcohol in his pee hole, isn't he?
Oh, no.
As his mind raced ahead, wondering what sort of torture alcohol could induce, just like us, we were wondering. And then his mind made the connection. Jesus Christ! They were going to burn him alive in his bed. The spirits would ensure the bed would go up in smoke extremely quickly, and he'd be on it. A funeral pyre of sorts. Bill started to sweat profusely. This was so bad. It put all of his sexual mishaps into sharp perspective. Of course, when I'm about to get burned alive, I think about all my sex mishaps. Bill heard the clinking of glasses and the sloshing of booze. His head was roughly grabbed by the hair, and a sweet liquid was pushed down his open throat. Bill spluttered as the fiery substance made its way down his insides. At least it wasn't toilet cleaner, he thought.
At least it wasn't toilet cleaner.
The muffled voice says, "Drink, Mr. Bill," and continued to pour more alcohol down his throat. Bill groaned. They even knew his name. Didn't they?
Who the fuck is this?
I thought they already said his name. Oh, this bitch is stupid. If he knows where you fucking live, they obviously are gonna know your name. Knew his name. How long were they observing him, he wondered. After about 20 minutes, Bill started to feel just a little drunk. What the fuck? You're having hard liquor poured down your throat for 20 minutes, and afterwards you're like, oh, I'm a little tipsy. Probably like 5 bottles of vodka, probably. Mm-hmm. He started to feel a little drunk. He started to giggle. If he was going to die, then at least he'd die happy. All he had to do was to endure the torture, which was surely about to start. The good thing about when you're drunk is your pain tolerance is much higher. Like, yeah. So he can suffer a little bit and be like, I'm good. He tried to keep the location of the depot safe keys out of his mind, but they kept reappearing casually, hung on the hook inside his bathroom toiletry cupboard. Bill felt strong hands undo his work trousers belt. He cringed as he thought of the terrible whipping he was about to endure from, of all things, his own leather belt. The terrorist slowly pulled down Bill's trousers and pants, leaving the bottom half of his body naked. He heard the sound of a sharp blade cut through his upper clothing. I saw the sharp blade and thought it was going to cut his dick off. I was like, oh, God.
We're like,
ugh. No amount of alcohol is going to cover that pain.
R.I.P. Bill Badger's cock.
R.I.P. that dick. It didn't take long to strip his torso bare, and Bill was now totally exposed. He shivered, wondering where the first cut would be made. He prayed it wouldn't be his balls. Surely they wouldn't be that callous. But he knew terrorists worked on a different plane to normal, sane people. What? Every day. She's like, oh, I bet these kids are so nice. We're in here reading filthy porn. Surely they wouldn't be that callous, but he knew terrorists worked on a different plane to normal, sane people. He knew they wouldn't do anything to achieve their twisted objectives. The sound of his assailant undressing took Bill by surprise. He heard zippers and poppers being pulled off garments. When I think of poppers, I think of the drug that gays do, where they sniff it and it makes their butthole loose. I think that's what it is for. I don't know.
I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
Have you ever heard of poppers?
No!
It's like a gay drug. It's like us gays do it at gay clubs. I don't know. I've heard of it.
I don't know.
I heard it from a drag queen show. I'm also a homosexual. Anyways. Oh, God. Something like the sound of boots were thrown across the floor. The smell of baby oil wafted. We're not going to mention what I'm thinking right now. The smell of baby oil wafted through the bedroom as the sound of more sloshing accompanied it. Bill suddenly understood. They were going to bodyboard him in baby oil.
No, they're going
to... A terrible death, no doubt. The viscous liquid would never leave his nostrils and throat, ensuring a slow death from asphyxiation. Bill struggled with his handcuffs, which had now been also applied to his ankles. He was powerless to save himself. The terrorist manuals were all wrong. What the fuck? Okay, first he read Hostages for Dummies. Now here's How to Be a Terrorist for Dummies. Terrorist manuals were all wrong. He should have made a run for it when they first kidnapped him. At least he would have been gunned down in the fresh city air and not left drowning in baby oil on his bed in his flat.
Not in the fucking baby oil.
Don't struggle. This won't hurt someone with your reputation, the voice said roughly. Bill struggled even harder on the bed. I said don't struggle, the voice shouted. Bill lay back in shock. He knew that voice, disguised as it was. It sounded female. Bill's mind jumped the final hurdle. It was an inside job. The terrorist had managed to recruit one of the Emporium's staff. He calmed. He knew who it was.
Who was it?
It was his friend, the Australian, Delilah.
It was fucking Delilah?
It was Delilah. I knew it.
I would have liked it to be like someone totally different that we only heard about a few times. Like fucking Jerry.
I know. Oh, that would have been so fucked. Why me, Delilah? I thought we were friends. I bought you pizza just the other night.
I bought you pizza!
Why me? Delilah cackled. Throwing away any sense of
Imagine doing all this for some dick.
I know. It's like the utmost. Throwing away any sense of pretense. Now Bill had to deduce who his captor was. Why you, Bill? Don't you know? It's because of the size of your cock. I've done my best over the last 6 months to get you to fuck me, and you just wouldn't have it.
And you just wouldn't fuck me.
Mr. Bill, the busy delivery driver who couldn't even take an interested girl out for an evening. Mr. Bill, who's besotted with the biggest Hold on, I need to calm the fuck down. I'm trying to get into the character. Mr. Bill, who's besotted with the biggest lesbian Harold's Emporium has ever employed. Mr. Bill, the fucking driver, who's so popular with his clients, he's always getting sidetracked and laid. Mr. Bill, who has more vagina than any man I've ever known, and you haven't had me. Well, Mr. Bill, big cock. Things are about to change. This Bill Badger's cock had now started to rise. It understood.
It understood. No, don't look at me like that. You looked at me and go, it understood.
It understood. If Bill didn't, that it just might be the way to save the tense situation they were in. It only took a few seconds for it to harden. And no sooner had it prepared itself for battle than Delilah straddled Bill on the bed and pushed her glistening vagina down onto it.
Prepared itself for battle.
Delilah screamed in anticipation. Bill groaned in intense relief. He wasn't going to be burnt alive, bodyboarded, or poisoned with drain cleaner.
Yay!
Woo! Bill's cock penetrated Delilah deeper than she'd ever experienced in her very varied sexual life. Her clitoris exploded in a gush of liquid.
Ew, exploded.
Relishing the release of the tension which had been building up with the kidnapping, Delilah screamed in ecstasy, and for once in his life, Bill kept pumping. Up and down, never ceasing. His life, he knew, depended on it. This woman wasn't sane, and he knew it. Fancy calling Beatrice a lesbian. What a lot of rubbish, he thought. Beatrice was shy. Okay, she was probably bi. All the best women were these days, he thought. His clients certainly would agree with him on that one. Delilah pulled the blindfold off.
Imagine she is a lesbian.
That was so funny if she was the whole time. Delilah pulled the blindfold off Bill's eyes. God, he was handsome, she thought. She bent down and kissed his mouth while still riding his cock.
He should bite her fucking tongue while she's trying to kiss him.
And she's like, ow! And then she'd probably kill him, though, and he's handcuffed. She bent down and kissed his mouth while still riding his cock as hard as she could muster. Bill Badger was indeed a good fuck, she thought. But what was even better was that she had another 12 hours of this enjoyment. Oh, God.
12 hours?
Delilah continued to scream, working towards her end objective of turning Bill's mind to being her friend and lover. Just manipulation. It was a subtle procedure of reward and pain, one she had studied intensely since she'd arrived in Britain.
Bro, I can't even imagine that. Like, an hour most, but like 12?
That's just that's torment for anybody.
She must be on like some type of female Viagra or some shit.
Definitely. It was a subtle procedure of reward and pain, one she had studied intensely since she'd arrived in Britain. Their public libraries were so good for that sort of research. Delilah rode Bill harder, and within seconds they both came. Delilah flopped onto the bed next to her, now possibly more willing captive. 11 more hours of brainwashing, she thought. This and the extreme fucking was going to be the best 12 hours of her life. And that is the end of the chapter. Chapter 14 is called The Suggestion. And next time we'll be reading it. We're almost done. We only have 2 more chapters and we're done with Bill Badger.
Damn.
Which is kind of crazy. So what did you think of this chapter?
Delilah's a bitch.
I know. Fuck her.
I wish it was someone that we only learned about for like a small, short amount of time.
I know. It was a little predictable. I think it would have been funny if it was Beatrice. But then he wouldn't have been like, ooh, I'm scared. He'd been like, fuck me in the ass. Well, thank you guys for listening.